get to it. Welcome to the political perspective. I am Reggie, aka Speed and Bullet. This is B, 3 explanation points. And always remember, if you are not political, you do not have a perspective.
What up? What up? What up? It's your boy James, aka Ralph's favorite. Now I know you're thinking to yourself, James, why am I not watching the video? Chill. We're gonna get to the video. But before we do that, I want to say on behalf of TBD, we appreciate you for taking the time out to watch this video. And we appreciate you for listening to the podcast. More importantly, we just appreciate you taking the time to be with us, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with us today. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to first like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and then hit that notification bell so that way you're notified when we drop a new video. And remember, it's all TBD. Now let's go ahead and get back to that video.
And your perspective should have been on high alert with the State of the Union that Trump had on Tuesday. So B, do you have any takeaways? Did you get a chance to watch it? Did you?
I watched it. I couldn't wait to watch it. I texted the group chat. Like, my exact message to the group chat was, FYI, the president is about to be ridiculous on TV.
Absolutely.
that was my text to the group chat. So I did watch it, and I kept hearing prior to, the pre State of the Union show where the networks are telling you like, hey, we had a chance to talk to the president, and this is going to be the theme. And it was like, hey, celebrating America 250 years from 1776 to 2026, and all the things he accomplished, and it's a real united, what are the words I heard? A real uniting of the country. And if any Democrat this is what I actually heard on TV. I'm not just freestyling. If any Democrat wants to take this opportunity to be divisive, it's not going to look good. And I'm like, okay, well, you're doing a lot in the pre-show, but let's wait till we get there. So yes, I did watch it, and I saw it, and I'm going to stop there to let you go.
Yeah, so I watched it. I actually was going back and forth between Trump's State of the Union address and also the People's State of the Union address, which was interesting. It was a bit of an alternative to anybody that didn't really want to dive into Trump's kind of like ridiculousness. But maybe about 30 minutes in, I no longer did any switching. I just had to see it, and I just had to see Trump real time. And as advertised, Trump was just even more ridiculous than he already is. Some of the kind of highlights of the State of the Union would have been Trump's attacking of the Supreme Court justices, which I have to believe that that's the first time something like that has happened in the history of the country, where the sitting president berates Supreme Court justices who, for the most part, well, probably for the better part of American history, have been revered for their wisdom and judgment, and even the ones that had racist judgments, against Black people. I mean, the Supreme Court has always been looked upon as, obviously the highest court, but also the ones who legally are the last, the last say legally to any court case, any appeal. The Supreme Court is the final word, and the final word is normally respected. But Trump doesn't respect anything or anyone. And there are two Supreme Court justices who Trump actually nominated.
I just want to say the Supreme Court is 6-3 in his favor, right? As far as the side of the aisle, it's 6-3, right?
Yes, 6-3.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's air quote favorites. I mean, the Supreme Court is not supposed to be political, but
right.
by its design, it's political because sitting presidents nominate Supreme Court justices, and whatever your ideology is, your party is, you're going to nominate someone that is going to reflect those beliefs. So,
1,000%.
it's accurate to say that it is a 6-3 conservative court that we have at this moment. So, and for the most part, court decisions that have gotten to the Supreme Court that have involved Trump has actually went his way because those folks, do have the same type of ideology and same type of worldview that Donald Trump does have. But every now and then there is a glimmer of hope and partisan, unbiased, legal safeguards for not just Trump, but for any president that wants to try to do things that are just totally against our laws, against our Constitution. And Trump's tariffs were what most people said in the beginning. We're totally against our laws, totally against our Constitution. Tariffs tariffs are decided through Congress. It's not an act that the president has unilateral authority to change tariffs at his leisure. Trump gets an attitude and tariffs go up. But that is not how trade in the real world actually works. So a lot of people have been waiting for this decision, and what the ramifications of the decision is. But for the first time in a long time, the courts won out, but Trump made his feelings about the decision well known. He attacked the justices, not specifically at the State of the Union, but he's repeatedly attacked them after the ruling came out. He said they were a disgrace to their families, and he even suggested that there may have been some foreign influence that may have affected their decisions, which is kind of like crazy, like just grasping for straws. But
he made these initial comments on Truth Social, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on that platform?
I have it on the phone, and so I have it on the phone in case there's a tweet that Trump has made that I need to be able to screenshot it.
Like we bringing back slavery.
His actual Truth Social. Screenshot. His ain't really Truth Social, is Trump Social, because
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one member, and it's Trump. Who cares what anybody else says on there? But yeah, that was one of the highlights. Another highlight, which has been kind of talked about throughout the last couple of days, is this moment where Trump kind of had a bit of a got you moment for the Democratic Party, where he said, if you are for the American citizens and not for illegal immigrants, please stand up.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
And obviously, that is a loaded question.
Loaded, yes.
Yeah,
yes, loaded question.
Yeah, it's a loaded question, and what is described as a dilemma. Like it's too there's no good answer to that question. So the majority of the Democrats in the room chose to sit. Because they're, in their minds, and I don't know their minds, but the way they justified it is that, obviously we care about the American people first, but there isn't an us versus them. There isn't American people versus quote unquote illegal immigrants. So that's something that you'll see a bunch of memes, a bunch of posts about that particular moment. Which when you peel back the curtain, I mean, there has been many moments throughout really the last I would say 15 years where etiquette is out the window.
Yeah.
And, Obama had many, many moments during his State of the Union.
For sure. Even Biden. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just recently Biden,
Yeah.
that Republicans did not stand. So the hypocrisy, as always, is at an all-time high. But also just the not even acknowledging recent history. Like you had to go back to 2024, where Biden had a State of the Union address, and many Republicans did not stand. So I mean,
he just took advantage of an opportunity to paint a narrative surrounded around a loaded question that, in this day and age of media and reaction, people aren't really going to do the research and fact check. They're just going to put up a sensational headline that says Democrats don't stand for American people.
right.
And then it's going to be a thing, and people who aren't patient or have the tools to do the extra research into what actually happened will just believe it.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that this is the type of society we in today, but here we are.
Yeah, and hopefully, people aren't going to make their political decisions based on really a stunt. I mean, I hope that's not the case. I will say this. I wanted to ask you this, B. I mean, this has been kind of something I've been thinking about for a while. I've been getting a lot of posts in my algorithm about Black people leaving the Democratic Party, and I've been getting a lot of posts like, and I used to get them years ago. Black people off the plantation, and Democrats have never done anything for us. Blah blah blah. Skip. But I seem to be. And I need to figure out a way is there a way to reset your algorithm? Because I need that kind of off. But I've been getting that a lot. And I wanted to kind of ask you, I mean, I know you and I are both Democratic leaning, but I mean, how are you, what do you feel about when people say things like, we should be leaving, Black people by and large should be leaving the Democratic Party. And it would make more sense if you said we're going to lead the Democratic Party and become independents.
Yeah.
And make political choices.
Yes.
But when I see folks say leave the Democratic Party to join the Republican Party, it seems very bizarre to me.
In its current form? Hell no. We can't do that. That's crazy. There was a point in the State of the Union where he said we got rid of DEI, and I know that it's painted as a Black thing where it's mostly women and other groups, but DEI, Black people kind of claim that whatever. But for him to say that at the State of the Union, to get applause for that, we can't stand on that side of the aisle. I think, that's funny you asked that question, because one of the thoughts that I had this week watching the State of the Union and after was, how did we get convinced that we can only be two things? We can only be this or that, where people are very layered and we're not either this or that. Like, because I'm this or I vote leaning this way doesn't mean I agree with everything this way, and because they're that way don't mean I disagree with everything they say over there. But again, how did they convince us that this is the way to go? And again, it's all not again, but it is all a distraction. So we don't really pay attention to what they're doing. And I feel strongly with this administration, it's all about distract the fuck out of you because I'm taking all the money that's available to be taken. And it goes back to something we said a couple weeks ago on a political perspective, where he's made more money in this year that he's made his entire life as a businessman. It's insane. But sticking to what your question was, independent, yes, I'm for everybody being independent, because we're just use your brain. We're not just either this or that. We can be we can have many different viewpoints on many things, and make decisions that way.
Yeah, I will say this: we have gotten a whole lot more partisan and a whole lot more like in our like individual camps.
Mm-hmm.
It's never really been like that. If you look at a lot of the congressional votes, especially like in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, there were folks all from Democrats, Republicans, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
There wasn't this this expectation that even as a politician that you had to follow everything that the party put out there, that you did not have any real ability to have an independent voice. And I think that in itself has now spilled into the larger population. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, when it became a problem is when money and finances became a part of the political system, where
Yes.
campaign contributions and lobbyists
Yeah.
are pretty much able to bribe our politicians. I give you $20 million
Yeah.
because, as a, and it doesn't even make any sense, but I give you $20 million to be able to get an audience with you to explain why my particular industry needs to have X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And this 20 million gives you access to this politician, and laws and decisions are made because of that. So now there's no longer an ethical or principled decision. It's all based on money. And I think that's where, and it wasn't always like that. Money wasn't always as tied into politics as it is now. But I think when money started being really the driver in politics, that's where you had to kind of toe the line, or we're going to use this vast amount of resources to actually come at you.
Yeah.
And
Not even real quick, not even just ethics or principle. You're not operating in the best interest of the people.
no, not at all.
I mean, because most people aren't billionaires or people that can donate $20 million for a specific cause. So you like, who are you governing? Who are you governing for?
I mean, I think it's obvious. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's obvious. The corporate money that's in politics makes it so it's a legal bribe, and
Yes.
it's a legal bribe. And if anybody thinks it's not, you're just not even using just normal reason and common sense. Money gets you access. Money gets you an audience and a voice that is compelling. So,
Man, I just think about real quick. I'm sorry. I just think about I forgot the president who said it or who said it, the political figure who said that if you convince the lowest white man that he's better than any, you know, I forgot the rest of that quote, but the key to that is convincing the lowest white man that he's better than, because these policies and shit that he's doing is not for the people that voted for him in mass.
right.
And yet today, on my way home from work, you know what I saw? I saw a pickup truck with an American flag flying in the back, and it's like, it is so lost.
Yeah, I mean, and you gotta think about it like this, B. If we in our normal lives, we see some, some of our folks, some black folks that are just
Yeah.
totally missing the point, totally don't get it. I just suspect it's the same thing over there. That they just are.
That's true. That's a fact.
It's human nature, but I
Yeah.
do think that it is driven, like you said, it's driven by something different on our end, and not to always bring it back to racism, but like you said, if you can convince like to the lowest white man that he's better than a black man, then he will vote. His whiteness will trump his common sense, and
That's the crux of the country. The crux of the country is a lot of poor white people, and you need those people to believe in whatever you need them to believe in to control what you need to control.
Yeah,
and that's the key.
And it's working.
It's working.
And it's working.
It's working.
It's actually working even better. It's working better than it's ever worked before.
Somalis are getting money in Minnesota,
which is the most ridiculous thing that you get. So first off, what I think,
but if I'm in Nebraska and I'm white and I hear that,
fuck them Somalians, right? And you hear Trump saying it a million times.
Exactly.
And what's funny is I feel like, it's obvious that there was some fraud going on with the Somalians, but there's obvious that there's fraud going on everywhere. Like we have fraud in general. I mean, if anything, they say, there's a lot of this conversation that the Somalians are not, they're not assimilating into the American culture. Well, fraud is about as American as it comes.
As fuck.
Like fraud is
American as fuck.
They are very American.
Right.
Fraud, like that's par for the course. Look at our president. He's fraud is his middle name.
Right.
So I mean, but like you said, I mean, you find a common denominator, you find a boogeyman, somebody to get people riled up, and now they forget that they're the ones that are struggling too.
Yeah.
But as long as they feel like they got a little more than those Somalians, than those niggas, they're okay with that.
Yep.
Think about like that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm trying to think of anything else that I got from the State of the Union, but besides the myriad of lies, I mean,
it was rather ridiculous. I watched it for as long as I could. What was that, hour and 41 minutes, I think, in total. I didn't stay for the whole hour and 41. It was just, the ridiculousness of him using words, and he's like a bad stand-up comedian who has dementia. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to give a performance, but it's like jokes, but they're bad, and he can't remember the lies he previously told, and he don't know that some of the things he's saying are easily proven as lies. And I think I'm just too savvy enough to hear certain things and not automatically be agitated, as we talked about earlier. I just get agitated when we lifted such and such amount of people off of food stamps and SNAP benefits. Lifted, where it's like, no, that sounds positive. It's like, oh, you kicked a bunch of people off. It's like you kicked a bunch of people off who needed it. Like, you didn't talk about the people you kicked off of Medicare who needed and healthcare for your Trump RX plan, whatever the fuck that is. So it's like I hear that and I get agitated because I know it's people out there who want to hear that and be like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. No. So that was a lot to just deal with for, again, he talked for an hour and 41 minutes. I think I got at least a good hour and 10 minutes. I think I missed the last half hour.
Yeah, I struggled through the whole thing. Just
it's a lot.
Just to be annoyed.
Yeah.
Just to be annoyed. And like you said, almost everything that he said is easily fact checked. So if you don't fact check him, then that means that you just want to believe the lie. Like this is 2026. I mean, Google, chat, everything. AI mode on the phone, everything can give you the most up-to-date information about any topic that you will ever want to even know about.
Please, people out there, please be savvy enough to not just go by what you hear. Do an extra step. Do some research. The phone's in your hand. The phone has all the answers. You can find it.
Absolutely, and don't believe what me and B say. Fact check us,
please. Right.
Us. I mean, that should be a part of this political engagement, is to fact check things and to use the resources that we have, so you are making a informed political decision. And that goes for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna jump into a few other topics that we have going on. First one I want to talk about is Trump has pushed us closer to war with Iran. So, I mean, nobody wants to hear about war. Nobody wants to hear about war with a country in the Middle East. Is this 2000? Is this 2004? Like, what do we got going on right now? But the current naval deployment in the Middle East is the highest it's been since the Iraq War. If we go to war with Iran, it's not. Iran is a huge country. that has a real military. If we do some type of land invasion, we could be in there for years. If we do missile strikes, it could take weeks or months. And all of this, when you peel back the layer, Trump says a lot of things about Iran developing a nuclear weapon, right? And the talks that the United States wants to have with Iran in reference to their nuclear stockpile. However, if you fast forward last year, the Trump administration said that they obliterated Iran's nuclear program.
He did say that. He said that. Obliterated was the exact word he used.
Multiple times, multiple people in the administration said that Iran's nuclear sites were obliterated. Most people that are people that follow this closely said that there was no evidence that it was obliterated. That there was all of this pat on the back, mission completed, but there's no evidence that it was obliterated. So for a year, and now we're having the same conversation or the same kind of threats that we gave Iran last year. So we really didn't do much at all, which makes me believe that is it possible for us to do much at all? Because it's like Iran is a very closed country with a very closed regime, and we're not able to freely go in there and inspect things to see what they got. We have no idea if they moved everything a week before. We have no idea, right? But it all goes back to Trump and Barack Obama living rent free in Trump's head. So we had a nuclear deal with Iran that they would not develop any nuclear weapons, but they would develop nuclear energy, which most developed countries have nuclear energy. And there was an agreement that Iran would not have any nuclear weapons. They would not develop any nuclear weapons, and that agreement held up until Trump got rid of that agreement for no reason at all. And a part of that agreement was that there would be inspectors that would come and inspect inside Iran some of their facilities to make sure that they were actually not building weapons. So as things that Trump does is in response to something that Barack Obama has done. So it's always interesting to see where are the origins of this. And Trump, just in his ridiculous view of the world, always wants to try to one up Barack Obama. We all know about his infatuation,
obsession. Yes,
the Nobel Peace Prize because Obama won it. And
oh my goodness,
absolutely crazy. But stay tuned for the Iran conflict. Kind of similar to Venezuela. You put all of those ships, all of those troops over there. I think it's like more than half of the troops that the United States has in the world are all in the Middle East right now. So
really,
you don't bring troops over there just for nothing,
right?
Next thing I want to talk about is CBS pressured Stephen Colbert to shut down an interview with James Tallarico, who is who's running for state representative seat in Texas. He's actually running against Jasmine Crockett, one of my favorites. But I've heard Tallarico speak, and he's a decent, very good candidate also. But apparently, CBS got a phone call or some type of indication from the Trump administration that if they aired this interview with James Tallarico, that they would somehow the Trump administration would retaliate against them. So they pulled the interview, actually put the interview on YouTube because the government doesn't have jurisdiction over YouTube. So they put it on their actual YouTube channel instead of their main broadcast on CBS. It's unfortunate, and the reason that CBS kind of said that the Trump administration wanted this interview to be to not to air is this so-called you have to give both sides the equal amount of coverage in any of these political races, because Trump feels as though no news organization, especially any of the legacy news organizations, can lean towards any particular candidate, and just giving a candidate a little more time, would cause the administration to get involved. Obviously, it's an attack on freedom of speech. It's
Free speech, yep.
On freedom of the press to be able to air and to be able to broadcast, what they feel as though they need to broadcast. So just another example of the overreach by the Trump administration, but also another example of these broadcast companies not having any backbone
at all. I have the James Tallarico saved to a bookmark. I haven't gotten to it yet, but have you watched it?
Yes, I watched it, and like I said, he's very impressive.
What was in there so much that they wouldn't have one aired?
It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything that he said what outside of what any normal politician would say. It was strictly you didn't give the other candidate enough time. It was strictly that. It wasn't anything directed towards his message. But also, I think the Trump administration finds moments like this just to see if people is going to push back.
A heat check moment, okay, just to see what I can get away with.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is how authoritarian regimes are.
For sure,
it's not bombs and guns. It's periodic, meticulous eroding of your rights to the point where things are normal. Tank rolls down your street every day. You think that's normal?
Yeah, you think that's how a tank should roll. You're gonna eventually be like, where the fuck the tank?
Right, exactly. And I think that's one of the strategies of Project 2025 is to flood the zone and to see what we can actually get away with. It's actually quite disturbing when you think about it.
Yeah.
Next thing is Trump. After the Supreme Court struck down his tariff deal, he posed 10% global tariffs on all countries. After the Supreme Court struck down his Trump Liberation Day tariffs, and within the next
tariffs,
right, and within the next day, he raised that 10% to 15%, which is the legal limit that Trump can, or any president can raise tariffs. But it's a very limited amount of time that the tariffs can be raised. I think it's 120 days or 150 days, one of those. But like you said, as a tantrum, instead of kind of working with people, maybe even working with Congress, I think it tells you a lot where Trump has the House. Well, the Republicans have the House. They have the Senate. They have the House. If Trump was a convincing politician and his policies made sense, he would just go to Congress and make the case, and then it would become law. I mean, the same way with Trump's first term, they ratified a trade deal with Canada and Mexico. It became law. But either Trump knows that his policies are unpopular, and that even his own party is not going to vote for his tariffs, or he just wants to centralize his power as being the king. I'm going to be the person to do this, and I don't need anybody's help. And that's not how the United States government is supposed to be. But this is the president that we have at this moment, and this is what we got going on.
Yeah.
Next thing is Japan is set to invest $36 billion in a couple of United States industries. The most kind of like the biggest one is gas-fired power and also crude oil. If you're thinking that sounds a bit 70s or 80s, it's because Trump hates clean energy. Trump hates clean energy, and is really kind of backwards in where the world is going. I mean, China is leading the world in solar energy and wind energy, and not being as dependent on oil and gas and electricity, and is moving towards the future. And the United States under Trump is talking about drill, baby drill, talking about what he wanted to give the kid at Christmas was like, I didn't want any coal and for Christmas, and Trump was like, coal is good. Like it's absolutely ridiculous how
drill, baby drill.
drill, baby, drill. In this age of solar energy and alternative energy, for us to be way behind the, just way behind the times in terms of clean energy. But I have a question for you.
Okay.
How much money do you think the fossil fuel lobbyists have given to Trump?
I would think it's not as much as low. I would think it's a low amount. I don't know. I have no clue.
So if you want to wonder why Trump is so drill baby drill and coal and fossil fuel in general, all you have to look to is the fossil fuel lobbyists that have given Trump $23 million.
Oh, okay, not low. Okay, a good amount.
So once it, like we were talking about this earlier, the money in politics. If you're thinking like, why does Trump not like wind energy? Why does Trump not like solar energy? And then you see that he has $23 million. He had 23 million reasons not to like
23. Yeah.
If he got $23 million from solar energy companies, it would be the other way. And that in itself is the problem with the money that we have in politics. It's all about who has the most money that can drive policy. It has nothing to do with the American people. I mean, I would argue that being reliant on gas and oil is actually not good for the American people. That it's better to be moving towards more renewable, more sustainable energy. But like I said, 23 million is what Trump has gotten from the fossil fuel lobbyists. So
it's really, overall, it's just a really sad place to be where, for me, I don't believe that the person running the country is looking out for people. And I feel like for my entire life, that is something I never questioned it. I always felt like even George W., right? I felt like, okay, he was looking out for people, but it was just a different ideology, right? Obama, I feel like he was looking out for people, even though some of his policy, like his Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, personally caused me to have to find a new job. It directly affected my job. So it was like, but I felt it was the dichotomy where it's like, okay, this is necessary, even though it's forcing me to look for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like this guy is just doing whatever he can for the people he made friends with and himself. Like, I don't think he's considering the American people at all. And it's just a weird space to be in.
It is. And when people talk about like Trump and his billionaire friends, you kind of just like shrug it off until you see like these types of examples.
Yes.
But I think that all presidents before, I think that they cared about people.
Yeah.
And even if you say they cared more about a group of people, their people, more than others,
Certainly, yeah.
You can't say that they didn't care about.
They were caring about people. At the end of the day, they were caring about people.
Right. And there's no indication that Trump cares about anybody. There's no indication he cares about
none at all. None at all.
Life better at all. And if somebody can point to it, I would be shocked. I mean,
what pisses me off also is the videos that come out of the people that are sucking from the Trump teat. The videos of them previously saying like Trump's terrible, he's not a good person at all, and then I was like, oh, the JD Vance.
And so one of the takeaways is not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history. It's that Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person.
Oh, Trump is blah, blah, blah. I'm doing all the standing ovations at the State of the Union, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, JD Vance called Trump Hitler.
He did. That's on video. You can find that. You can Google that.
Right. Called him Hitler. Let that sink in. I mean, that's knock it off. Another thing I wanted to mention was Barack Obama recently said that aliens exist.
He said that. He did say that.
He didn't give much context, although he did say that he never saw them, and he did not believe that they were in Area 51 and any underground bunkers or anything.
Yeah.
So that made a lot of news.
Aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
But in Trump, great fashion, Trump says now he's going to release all alien UFO files. Like Obama should do it. He should do like a social experiment and like say the most off the wall thing.
Right.
And see Trump like trying to,
exactly.
Like
he should say like, you know what? I don't think reparations will work for black people. Say that and then have Trump be like, you know what? Let's get these niggas some money. Right. Yeah, no, Obama said that aliens exist, and then he walked it back in a very it was a good walk back. Like, oh, because the galaxy's so big, it's hard to believe that it wouldn't be other life, but they haven't contacted us. It was like that was a good walk back. I think it's more there than I think he misspoke, or I don't know. If I had to guess, I would guess that there is some evidence somewhere of Americans being in contact with extraterrestrials. And I feel like Obama misspoke in giving that information, but he walked it back in a way where, all right.
Well, you know what I feel about it. So
Yes.
We need not dive into that. But
exactly.
My opinion has been here for a very, very long time.
Shout out General Soul's Chicken.
Yes, they are here.
Who is General Soul? Anyway,
right. Last thing I got is Trump just recently deported 9 people to Cameroon. What's important about this particular deportation is the courts once again said, do not deport these people, and certainly don't deport them to Cameroon. But I think when Trump's kind of his approach to immigration, and people ask like, why is it that Obama was able to deport so many people to not be headline news every day? And you see things like this where Trump is deporting 9 people to Cameroon. How many of those 9 people you think is from Cameroon? 0. I'll answer please. 0 people. So you're going to deport people to African country
that
like
they're not from.
That they're obviously not from, don't speak the language, have no family or friends there, like nothing. You're gonna drop them in the middle of Cameroon.
How can I get deported to Bali?
Right, exactly. but just how cruel that is.
Yeah,
you're gonna deport someone. Why would you deport them to their country of origin?
This guy's insane.
It's just absolutely ridiculous and crazy. But it shows you that there is a humane way to deal with immigration, even whatever you would describe as illegal immigration. There's a humane way to do it. But then there's obviously an inhumane way of doing it, and that's what you see today. I mean, Barack
Obama, authoritarian and dictator way, because the idea is obviously to, hey, we'll send you to somewhere where you don't know to deter people from even coming here.
Oh yeah, I got one more bit. I'll save this one. So Trump has his board of peace. Countries that pay to be in his board of peace. That's kind of like a United Nations for really almost like dictators, but a United Nations that is supposed to keep peace in the world. All these countries had to pay $1 billion to be a part of this board of peace, and Trump would be the chairman of the board for life. I wonder what happens when he goes. He's chairman of the board for life, the board of peace. But they had their first meeting, and Trump, did the opening address. And one of the things that Trump said was he did not like young, handsome men.
Yes. Like you niggas.
That one. What do you think about that?
Oh. Again, it's like a stand-up comedian who has dementia, where it's like you're trying to be funny, but you're saying something offensive, and you don't realize how you coming across. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Women he likes though. Can't leave that out. Women he likes.
Speaking of women, we didn't even do any Epstein. So the latest Epstein issue that Trump has is there were some files missing, which almost seems funny when you think about it. We know there are files missing, right? But some reporter was able to track down some discrepancies in some FBI documents that interviewed a woman who said that Trump sexually SA'd her when she was 14. And there's kind of like a sequence of report numbers, and they were able to find that it was out of sequence. And apparently there was at least 4 interviews with this accuser, and only one interview reached the Epstein files. So where are those other interviews? And that just leads you to think, what other documents are conveniently missing from the Epstein files? I mean, how much scrubbing or destroying of documents has there been? And can we even trust? In the beginning, the Department of Justice said that there were 5 million Epstein files, and we've only gotten 3.5 million. So even by their estimation, they are absurdly lacking in transparency with
transparent for sure.
And the last thing about Epstein is Hillary Clinton. I think while we were filming, finished up her her testimony about the Epstein files and what she knows about the Epstein files or whatever. I haven't been able to dive into the transcript because it's a closed door, no media. But obviously, lawmakers can take notes, and we'll get some of the highlights. But what I've heard so far is at no point did Hillary Clinton not answer any questions. At no point did she take the fifth or anything of the sort. I think it's interesting, and also an interesting kind of like male female wife husband dynamic where there's no kind of mention of Hillary Clinton having anything to do with Epstein or the Epstein files, but some way she's answering questions about it. Because
I did see earlier one of the answers was she said that I don't think I ever met Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
So it's
and that tells you how unserious Republicans are with wanting to even interview her. I mean, I can totally understand wanting to interview Bill Clinton. I mean, he had personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and traveled with him, and grill him all you want. But if you wanted to just bring her on there just for, I don't know, maybe just to embarrass her,
distraction.
Yeah, right. Because and Hillary is a MAGA target, right? Even more than
if you wanted to be transparent, just release the files unredacted and let's see what happens.
So here's my philosophy, and then I want to kind of end it after. Here's my philosophy, or here's my belief. My belief is that the reason why they're not releasing them all is not because Trump is necessarily implicated in anything. What I believe is, I believe that there are many other people who are implicated that actually has other dirt on Trump. And folks are like, if my name gets out here,
right, I'm gonna let you know X.
I might be in the people,
right,
but you might be in a different file.
Yeah,
I might actually have, and that that is what's compelling. The Department of Justice to really kind of really turn this investigation into like a joke. And if you're one of the survivors, I mean, you have to be extremely upset that this whole process is really a joke. But
you took the word a joke. I was just about to say that.
But I think that there are maybe other people that have actually done some things that probably has some dirt on Donald Trump that's just as damning, as anybody that's in the Epstein files. And if those folks have any heat, then they can put the heat on Donald Trump. And you could just imagine these rich white men have been rolling with each other for years. I'm sure they probably got dirt on each other. They probably collect dirt on each other. I mean, who knows what type of private investigators these folks might have had. These people might have done. I think that when I think of why they haven't released these full documents, I think that there is a bit of a angst between maybe somebody that has a connection to Donald Trump that can take him down.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that's week. I think this is week 56 in Trump. I'm doing my Trump tracker as soon as we get off of this. Always remember, if you are not political, then you do not have a perspective.
Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.